So the first piece is called Bounce With Me. It's by a Korean artist named Jonggeon Lee, who's now living in New York City. And this piece deals with the idea of displacement. The obelisk is the symbol that's represented here in this sort of trophy case. Originally, obelisks were paired up as an entry to an Egyptian temple. And then over time, the Greeks and then the Romans stole them and took them away. So the place where you're most likely to see an obelisk now is either in Rome or in Paris. And so that's kind of what Jonggeon Lee is talking about. And as a Korean-born artist who moved to the United States to do his graduate work, he was feeling a similar sort of displacement and took this symbol of the obelisk to represent his displacement, and then added this basketball, which is an actual basketball that he cut up and carefully glued around this obelisk that he made. He took the basketball as a symbol of his new home, the United States, because basketball is a very American pastime. So the two of them sort of fused together to, along with his own personal journey, to sort of create this idea of displacement, and which he further enhances by putting it in this trophy, in this case, so that it becomes like a trophy, and then putting it in a bag with some basketball shoes, as if any monument could just be picked up, stuffed in a bag with some shoes, and carted away. So he's kind of talking about the impermanence of permanence. The title of this is Each to Each, or Where I Meet the Floor and the Floor Meets Two Walls. Love song from Greenpoint to Merrimack. So for this piece, the artist wanted to have an authentic reaction to this particular space. So this industrial rubber floor has been transformed into something very individualistic and very handmade. The materials are very interesting. These are very hard, almost plastic-like discs, and you would think that they were made out of plastic or rubber, just like the floor, but in fact, they're made out of handmade paper that was packed into molds, specifically made by the artist. Once they all dried, she then painted half of them white with a plaster-like white paint, and then the other half, that's actually graphite, just like from a pencil that's on there, which gives it a very sort of dark, shiny, metallic quality. One of the things that this is doing is it's trying to draw attention to something that we use every single day, which is the floor. We walk on it, but we're never really aware of it. And even though this is an industrial material and something that maybe was bought because it was the cheapest option, it still has an aesthetic quality to it. It still has a pattern on it, something that somebody thought about and designed, and she's drawing our attention to that. The second thing that I think she's doing is she's taking this grid and she's trying to bring it into motion. So it starts stationary in the bottom corner, and then as it comes out from there, it sort of is this slow, gentle explosion coming forward. And what you see when you look into the corner is kind of like butterfly wings that are unfolding. This sort of slow, gentle motion, this slow explosion coming out. This is the second piece by Gabriela Salazar. It's called Hinge Number 2. And like the first one, it is a celebration of the ordinary and the everyday. Before she was taking this dot pattern on the floor and bringing it up to the wall, bringing it up in scale, animating it. And in this case, she's taking the hinge, which is right here by the door, taking just the most ordinary of technical drawings describing the hinge and blowing it up to larger scale and putting it on the wall, which talks about the sort of symbolic nature of hinges as doors, as thresholds, entryways into spaces, and also just talks about beauty in the everyday. Something else that she's doing is she's occupying the two opposing corners of this gallery, which celebrates the corner. And just to tie it back into Bachelard, the author of the book that the title of the show comes from, she's helping us to see the poetry of the often overlooked parts of architecture.